Hi guys and welcome to Fandom Newbie. My name is Shruti and in today's video I'm going to be recommending to you 15 really short books that you can finish in one day. And if you're kind of like really in the mood for reading, you can even finish these books in one sitting. These books are short, but they are extremely engaging and very thought-provoking and just really well written. So perfect if you are in a reading slump and want to get out of one. So yeah, let's get started. The first book that I want to talk to you guys about is 84 Charing Cross Road by Helen Hanff. Now, this is a non-fiction book and it is a collection of letters between Helen Hanff, who lives in the US, and the employees of a bookstore which is at 84 Charing Cross Road in London. And it's essentially about the friendship that forms between Helen Hanff and the employees of this bookstore. Now, the first letter in this book is written in the year 1949, which is a few years after the Second World War ended. And so this book provides insight into how the lives of these people who had lived during the time of World War II, how their lives were affected by the World War and what their lives were like, especially in London during that time. Also, this book is just a celebration of people who love books and just books in general, like literature in general. And so, if you're someone who loves books about books or books about book lovers, then this will be such a treat. So, if you're looking for that perfect kind of heartwarming, cozy read over a weekend, then definitely check this out. The next book that I have to recommend is Galatea by Madeline Miller. Look how thin this book is. It's essentially a short story and it's a feminist retelling of Pygmalion's tale, who is basically this sculptor who sculpts the perfect woman and like prays to the goddess to bring that woman to life, and then the sculptor and the perfect woman live happily ever after. What this book does is that it essentially calls out the deeper patriarchal themes of Pygmalion's tale. It talks about how that book is just essentially written from like a male gaze point of view, and it's just very interesting. Madeline Miller's writing is beautiful as usual, and it's just a very short but powerful Greek mythology retelling. The next book that I want to recommend is An Elderly Lady is Up to No Good by Helen Thurston. This was such a fun little read. It's essentially about this old 85-year-old woman who basically kills people she doesn't like. Like people who annoy her, people who are bad for society, people who are evil and who cheat others, just like bad elements in society that would not normally get punished by the law. This elderly old woman basically like is a vigilante that takes them down. And it is just so much fun. Having an old woman who is like this criminal mastermind is just like such a bizarre concept, but it's so funny at the same time. And so if you're looking for something that's a really like cozy, funny crime murder sort of novel, then definitely check this out. I'm sure you'll have a great time. The next book that I want to talk about is Carmilla by Sheridan Le Fanu. Now, this is the OG vampire story. We all think that Dracula is the one that like started the vampire genre, but actually it was Carmilla. And the really cool thing about this book is that it's also a gay vampire story, and it was published in the year 1897. This book, even though it's like a classic and it's been published in 1897, has such like easy to read language, and it is so descriptive. And along with like the creepy vampire elements, it also has layers of a gothic romance happening. Like there's a sapphic love story going on in this book, which is just so interesting, especially for a book that was published in 1897. Like it's just like the perfect gothic book. So if you're into gothic romance, if you're into classics, definitely check this out. The next book that I want to talk about is The Empress of Salt and Fortune by Ni Vo. Now, if you're looking for a short and thin fantasy book with some amazing characters and really good world building that is packed in only just 115 pages, then this is the book for you. This is a fantasy book that is set in a Chinese dynasty inspired world where the empress of that like fantastical kingdom basically is out to take revenge against her enemies and the people who have wronged her. This book has a very like mystical feel to it, and it has an almost like folklore type of feel, and it has some really badass female characters. So if that sounds like it's up your alley, check it out. The next two books that I want to talk about are by the same author, and she is someone who I discovered this year, and she's someone whose books I'm going to read. Like anything that she's already published, I'm going to read. What she publishes afterwards, I'm going to read, and that is Claire Keegan. The first book that I want to talk about is Small Things Like These. This book is just so powerful. Like, it is such a short book, but it is one of the most powerful books that I have read this year. This book basically follows our main character and his family leading up to Christmas Day. And it talks about how he's just a normal middle class man who is working really hard to try to make ends meet for his family and also to try to like celebrate Christmas in the best way possible. Like, that's what the story is about, which is very, very simple. But like, if you just peel the layers a bit and you really think about what Claire Keegan is trying to talk about, it's basically how you can still do good in this world. Like, you can still contribute to society and do good even though you're stuck in the grind of an extremely capitalistic society, a society where you don't feel power, a society where whether it's government officials or religious institutions or just being stuck in that capitalistic grind, how that can overwhelm you, how you can still find it within you to do good in society. So, really short book, but so, so powerful. Speaking of that, the next book that I read by the same author is called Foster. Now, this one for me is like a little bit lesser than Small Things Like These in terms of rating, but it was a very, very heartwarming, extremely emotional book, and it was only like 90 pages or something like that. This book is essentially about this young child who is given to the care of like a foster family, and it talks about themes of found family, it talks about themes of parenthood, it talks about, you know, like the atmosphere in which a child is brought up, how important that is, being able to feel safe and secure in a home environment, what that means. And again, it's said in just 89 or 90 pages. And so Claire Keegan is just one of those authors who has the capacity to hit an emotional nerve and speak about extremely important and poignant things in a very short like span of pages. The next book that I want to talk about is The Swimmers by Julie Otsuka. Now, this book had such an interesting narrative style. Basically, this book follows our main character who is suffering from dementia, and it talks about how her medical condition and her degenerative condition affects her relationships with her husband and her daughter. And that's essentially what this book is about. But the way that it's narrated is so interesting. The first few chapters are narrated as like a collective. So, a group of swimmers who find peace and community through this act of swimming. The chapters are narrated from by this like collective of people who are swimming. Like there's one chapter that's narrated from the point of view of the nursing home in which the main character is admitted to. And then there are some chapters which are narrated from the point of view of the main character's daughter. And then there's also one which is narrated by herself, I think. But it's just like every chapter has a different narrative style and structure. And it's that which made this reading experience so intriguing for me. I know that some people find it very haphazard and like difficult to follow this narrative structure. But for me, I found it very interesting. And it was just a really good way to get insight into the mind of someone who would be suffering from this condition and how it affects the people around that person. The next book that I want to talk about is Lord of the Flies by William Golding. This was another very strange reading experience, but it was so, so good. This book basically questions the like morality of human beings, I guess, which is basically in a world that is devoid of any law and order, whether human beings would stay inherently good or whether they would devolve into chaos. And I think what's really interesting in this book is that the main characters in this book are essentially children, like they're school children. And so they are basically people, like they are human beings who are still very, very innocent. And to see how the decisions they take and the things that they go through because of the dire situation that they are placed in this book, where basically like their plane crashes and they are stranded on a deserted island, like how that affects them and how that affects the decisions they take and what that means for like humanity at large. Those conversations in this book are very, very interesting, and so a highly thought-provoking book. It's another classic, but it's written in a very like simple way, so highly recommend it. The next book that I want to talk about is Ghachar Ghochar by Vivek Shanbhag. Now, this book is essentially about a typical Indian family who gets rich kind of like overnight, and how this newfound wealth affects the family dynamics and their interpersonal relationships. This book is so relatable, like for Indians especially. Like the intricacies of Indian families are described so well in this book, and that's what makes it extremely relatable. But also the discussions around like wealth and what that means for lower middle class or middle class Indian families, I feel like that is captured and described also so well in this book. And the end, oh my god, the end has like this major plot twist which I did not see coming. And I think that was like the cherry on the cake for this book, because like it's a very thought-provoking book with a mind-blowing ending, so highly recommend. The next book that I want to talk about is Dora by Anukriti Upadhyay. Now, this book is just so immersive. It is the story of a district collector of a small village in Rajasthan, and it's basically an investigation into why this district collector has like disappeared, and why it all like the events that led to the disappearance of this district collector. As you sort of like dig deeper into the investigation, you kind of see that the life of this district collector is also connected to a bunch of Rajasthani folk tales, folklore, music, mythologies, and yeah, it's a very immersive experience into the old folklore of Rajasthan that is just like so rich. Yeah, like this entire book reads like a kind of storybook. I don't have other words. Like it was a very immersive reading experience, and if you're interested in books like like magical realism sort of books, and you're looking for a good Indian book that covers these themes, then I highly recommend Dora. It was just a very, very different and interesting reading experience. Speaking of immersive Indian mythology retellings, the next book that I have is Ahalya by Koral Dasgupta. This is a feminist retelling of Ahalya's story from the Ramayana, and it basically follows Ahalya's life right from her birth until the point that she is turned to stone by her husband. This book is just really, really beautifully written. Again, it's super atmospheric. There is one character in this book which is like literally just the mist, but it's described in such a beautiful way. Also, the way Koral Dasgupta just like personifies nature in this book is beautifully done. You are immediately transported into the forests that Ahalya walks through, into the rivers where she bathes, and yeah, beautifully written book, very, very poignant story. Highly, highly recommend. Next up, we have another atmospheric book, and that is Whereabouts by Jhumpa Lahiri. Now, this book is like it's about everything, and it's also about nothing. Like there is no real story in this book. It is essentially you're just following the life of a woman as she like leads her day-to-day life, but it is so beautifully described and written, where you are immediately transported into the Italian town or village where this woman lives. Like you can feel the Italian sun scorching your skin as you sit sipping espresso in a quaint little cafe. Like you're transported there. You can feel everything that Jhumpa Lahiri writes in this book. If you want to read a book just for the vibes, then I highly recommend this one. And lastly, I have two graphic novels. One is a graphic novel, one is a manga. The first one I've spoken about on my channel before, and that is Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. This is a young adult graphic novel like a queer love story between these two high schoolers who meet each other and fall in love, and it's about their relationship. This entire series, there are 5 books in this series, I think, which are out, and it's a great book when it comes to really describing like the teenage life. It has great representation. Each character has a place. They are really fleshed out, and they're all extremely lovable and amazing, and you just want to protect these sweet innocent beings because the characters are so good. So highly recommended. Extremely heartwarming, extremely cozy. Like, yeah, it's one of those books that will make you feel happy on like a sad day. And the last book that I want to recommend is Death Note, which is a manga series, and essentially it's like a chore police cat mouse chase between a criminal mastermind and like a genius detective. The entire Death Note lore and like the fantasy element behind that is also very interesting. A lot of world building that takes place. It's just, yeah, it's a very like fast-paced, action-packed reading experience with so many twists and turns. So if you're looking for that in a manga series, or if you've never tried manga and you want to get into manga, then I think this is a good place to start. So yeah, that was my video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below letting me know if you've read any of these books. What do you think about them? Let me know. I'd love to have discussions with you down in the comments. And of course, subscribe to my channel if you like book-related videos like this. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.